Welcome to another project. This time it is an automated traffic signal. So we have the breadboard and the diagram and also the cutout and the certificate of completion. First, what we need to do is to place 3 AA batteries, which you need to get it from outside, and this is how you place the batteries. The negative side, the bottom side, should be pressed against the spring one by one. Here is the spring this side and another one. After that, you may want to just rotate it to make sure that they are seated properly. Okay, so the battery has been placed. Now what we need to do is take any one LED from the kit and test the battery. So I will take the, say, green color LED. You can take green or red or whatever color that is there in the kit you can use. Okay, so now these LEDs have a black and a red wire. Black is for the negative power supply and the plus is for the positive power supply or positive voltage side. Okay, now the battery has the connection already made to the breadboard through a switch. Now the negative rail on the breadboard, these lines next to the blue line is for the minus of the battery voltage, and the plus row next to this red line is the plus voltage of the battery. Now in order for us to test the power connection, what we need to do is to put the black wire on any of these first row of dots like this, and then red on any of the next set of slots. Switch was already on. Switch can be on or off this side or this side. So you need to know which side turns it on. So this side turns it on. Now what we have done is we have placed the batteries, we have tested the battery to confirm that battery and the switch are working, and we have also tested the power supply coming to the breadboard. Now what we need to do is to keep the switch off. Okay, and you can remove the LED. We don't need the LED now. Let's now begin the assembly. What is important is be careful and slow. There is no hurry, because when things don't work, it takes much longer to fault find. So it is best to be careful from start. Okay, so now breadboard already has 2 integrated circuits or ICs. Okay, let me keep this aside. This is an IC and here we have another IC. We have already placed it so that it is easy for us to connect. Now these ICs have a notch. If you see close, if you look at this, you will see that on one side of the IC there is a notch. Okay, so this is a smaller IC which has got 8 pins, 4 on each side, and here we have a bigger IC which has got 16 pins. Okay, so now this the smaller IC is called 555 timer IC, and the bigger IC is 4017 counter IC. So these are the 2 ICs that we will use for this. circuit. The circuit diagram is already there in the manual, but we don't need the circuit diagram at this time. We only need the connection diagram. Okay, so let's begin one by one. First, let's place the resistors. Okay, now this circuit you will need two resistors, 4 and 5. Both are 100K. So 100K resistors we need, and those resistors are color coded. Okay, so 100K will have brown, black and yellow rings. Brown, black and yellow rings. Now these color coding you don't need to study now, but the colors are already mentioned in the manual, because brown stands for 1, black is for 0 and yellow stands for 4. So what it means is 1 0 0 0 0 0 ohms. Okay, which means 100 kilo ohms. Okay, so that is what it is. So what we will do is we will place the resistors carefully. We will bend the leads like this and place it from the pin 7 of the 555 IC and to the plus rail. So pin 7 we have connected. Okay, so now we will place the next 100K resistor. We will bend the leads like this and we will place it from pin 7 itself and horizontally like this. You can count these holes in the diagram itself so that you know where you are placing these components. Okay, so two components we have placed. Next is the electrolytic capacitor. Now this capacitor, we have already trimmed the legs. Normally when we buy, you will notice that one leg is longer to denote the polarity positive, but in order for us to easily placed in the breadboard, we have made the length equal. So here on one side you will see minus marked. That is the negative side of the capacitor. You need to know how the orientation is. In this case, the right side you see the gray line that indicates this gray line. So capacitor has to be placed this way, like this. I have placed the capacitor. So we have placed three components. Now what we will need to do is we will start putting the wires. So we will start from the left side. The long red wire, we'll take one red wire. We can take the medium length red wire if that reaches. No, that won't reach. So we'll take slightly longer red wire and connect it from pin 4 of this 555 IC to the plus rail. So as much as possible, whenever we connect anything to the plus rail, we will use red color, and whenever we want to connect anything to the negative rail, we will use black color. All other connections we can use blue, yellow or green. Okay, so now it is a good practice to make these wires neat so that final circuit will look neat. So this red wire is done. Next is a black wire, again a long black wire from pin 1 of the IC 555 IC and to the negative rail like this. Let's make the wire neat and make sure that wire is inserted properly. Okay, so 2 wires we have connected. Now a short red wire from pin 8. So pin 1 has been connected. Now pin 8 we are going to connect a short red wire. There is no space here, so let's make some space and connect it to the positive rail. Okay, so that is connected. Next is a short blue wire. Okay, so let's bend it and it's connected from pin 6 to the other end of the 100K resistor. Okay, so pin 6. So pin 6 also is connected and pin 5 has no connection. Okay, so that is done. This red and this blue are connected. Now there are some short wires on this side. One is a black wire. Let's take a short black wire and connect it to the positive rail. This short wire won't reach, so we'll take the next longer wire and connect it from the this capacitor's negative to the negative rail. So that is done. Then a short red wire from the positive rail to pin 16 of the 4017. Okay, so pin 16 of the 4017 is connected, and then we have a need for another short black wire and connect it from pin 13 of the 4017 IC to the negative rail. Okay, make sure that the wire is inserted properly. Okay, so now what we need is a green wire from pin 7 to pin 15. That you can connect it like this, pin 7 to pin 15. You can even cross over the IC, that is also fine. Okay, pin 7. Make sure that the slots where you are inserting the wire is correct. Now what we need is a long black wire to connect the pin 8 of the IC to the negative rail. Okay, so we have connected, pin 15 is connected, 8 is connected, 7 is also connected. Okay, so that is done. Now what we need is a long yellow wire to interconnect these two IC. There is pin 3, which is the output of this 555 IC, that we are going to connect it to the clock input, which is pin 14 of the counter IC. Okay, so like this it's connected. That is done. Let's make these wires neat. Okay, so that is done. Now what we need is a blue wire from pin 2 of the 555 IC to other end of the 100K here. the medium length wire also is enough. So let's take the medium length wire and connect it from pin 2 to the other end of the 100K resistor. So that the blue wire also is connected. Okay, so I think all the wires have been connected. So let's double check this black wire from pin 8 to negative rail, pin 7 green wire to pin 15, yellow wire from pin 14 to pin 3 of the 555, then red and black. This black one is done, this blue wire is done, then the black one here is done, then the red. So all the wires are connected. Okay, so now all we need to do is to take the 3 LEDs required for this circuit. Okay, let's now connect the LEDs. But before we connect the LEDs, we need to, it is a good practice to test the LEDs to confirm that the LEDs are indeed working properly. So the negative rail and the positive rail, will put it like this, confirm that it is working, and the yellow one again negative to the black one to the negative rail and plus to the positive rail, and yellow one is coming up, and then red one, black to the negative rail and plus. Okay, so 3 LEDs are working. Now what we need to do is to connect the red LED to pin 4 of the IC. So we'll just take out the red wire and carefully connect it to pin 4 of the IC. Okay, it is coming on, and next is we will take the yellow wire, yellow LED, red wire, and connect it to pin 2 of the IC. Okay, so red is on here. Next is green LED's red wire. We'll take it out from there and connect it to pin 4 of the IC, connected to pin 3 of the IC. Okay, so 2, 3, 4. Green LED is connected to pin 3. Okay, so yeah, red, yellow and green are blinking. Green, now we'll switch it off and place these LEDs behind the cutout. We can stick the wires like this using sellotape behind the cutout, and also you can stick the cutout on a piece of cardboard so that it is stiff. So here is our finished automated traffic signal project. Congratulations. Wish you all the best. See you in the next project.